A carrier picks up one load that is too wide, too tall, and too heavy for the road, crossing 5 states. Before the truck moves, somebody makes it legal in every one of them. This is oversize and heavy haul, where the rules of moving big are written state by state. Start with the line everything is measured against. On the interstate system, federal law caps a truck at 80,000 pounds gross weight, 20,000 on a single axle, 34,000 on a tandem. That comes from Title 23 of the U.S. Code, Section 127, and the rules of Part 658. On top of the caps sits the Federal Bridge Formula, which limits how much weight you can pack into a short run of axles so the load does not crush a bridge. Stay inside those numbers and you are a normal truck. Step outside and you become something else entirely. Size has its own line. On the national network, the legal width is 102 inches, 8.5 feet. Go wider and you are oversize. Height is the surprise. There is no federal height limit. States set it most between 13 feet 6 inches and 14 feet. A legal trailer can be too tall one state over. So the load is over. Anything beyond legal limits needs an oversize or overweight permit. And here is the catch. There is no single national permit. Every state issues its own, with its own fee, routes, and rules. A move that touches 5 states can need 5 separate permits. Picture the dispatcher working the portals one state at a time. State 1 approves a route along certain highways. State 2 sends a different path and a different fee. None of them talk to each other, and you cannot reuse one state's permit in the next. This patchwork is not a glitch, it is the system. Permits are half of it. Most states restrict when an oversized load can even move. Daylight only is common, so the truck parks before dark. Many forbid weekends and holidays or rush hours in bad weather. The route is not a line on a map. It is a schedule built around when each state will let you drive. Then escorts. As a load gets wider, taller, or heavier, states require pilot cars running with it, watching for low bridges and tight turns. Past certain thresholds, the state requires a police escort instead. And every state sets its own thresholds, so the carrier is on the phone for days lining up approved escorts for each leg. Now raise the stakes. Some loads blow past even normal permit limits. The industry calls these superloads. The definition shifts by state, but the idea is the same, too large for the routine process. The state orders a route survey, engineers run a bridge analysis, and sometimes utility crews lift power lines so the load can pass. A superload can take weeks of planning before 1 mile is driven. The carrier funds surveys, pays engineers, and waits on state review. That is not red tape. A 200,000-pound transformer does not get a second chance if a bridge fails. The best carriers treat that planning as the real work. There is no shortcut around the patchwork and no single national permit. The burden is on the carrier to permit every state, move only when allowed, and run the escorts they require. Running over permit gets you fined and shut down. This is general information, not legal advice, so confirm the current rules with each state and know who you are dealing with.